Time now for the morning rush.
We start with Kristen Curry.
Next big weather maker moves in today, so increasing snow showers over southern Colorado and the northern mountains. This band right here late tonight is what's going to drop the heaviest snow across the large chunk of northern and central New Mexico. Best accumulation here will be over the San Juans as well as the higher terrain of the northern mountains. West and southwest facing slopes looks to do better than the rest. Albuquerque could come up with a trace up to 3 inches closer to the mountains. We will keep you updated as this storm comes in. Crystal?
All right, thanks, Kristen. And we're following the day's top local stories. We start with Catherine Mazzone.
Happening right now, Old Navy employees are preparing to reopen the store in this temporary spot. This is video of their original location in the same strip mall on Cutler near San Mateo and I-40. Today, it's still under renovation after police say this man set fire to the store in late November. Firefighters say the blaze left the Old Navy with extensive smoke and water damage. It's been closed ever since. David Hickman, recently pleaded not guilty to federal charges. The state says it's also linked him to several other arsons, but he's yet to be charged in those. Fernanda?
This morning, APD will soon have some extra help protecting your property. Last night, city councilors approved the pilot program to allow the city to hire 30 police service aides or retired cops to help investigate property crimes. Now, they won't carry a gun or badge, but they can interview witnesses, dust for fingerprints, and file reports.
This morning, APD is facing a lawsuit claiming they covered up for 2 dirty cops after the family of a man murdered 40 years ago says those officers killed him. The suit claims in 1976, APD knew Bob Davis and his partner Robert Hobson took a suspected thief, Jose Farfan, out to the East Mountains and executed him. Both officers were fired from APD after they were connected to a huge theft ring. Find more on the lawsuit on our website, KRQE.com.
Police in Chicago have arrested 4 people in connection to a brutal assault streamed live on Facebook this week. The footage allegedly shows the suspects kicking, punching, and yelling at the mentally challenged man, holding him hostage inside an apartment. The victim is recovering from the incident.
On to news happening today. Intelligence officials are set to brief Congress on the alleged Russian hacking that they claim interfered in the 2016 presidential election. This comes amid news President-elect Donald Trump is considering restructuring the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, the agency created after 9/11.
This morning, the Senate narrowly approved a fast-track resolution Wednesday to begin the repeal of the Affordable Care Act, a vote of 48 to 51. Democrats quickly called out Republicans, saying that they don't have a viable plan to replace it. Meanwhile, Donald Trump, in a series of tweets, called out Democrats, saying, quote, Obamacare was a lie from the beginning. Keep your doctors, keep your plan.
On to new details now. This morning, federal prosecutors expected to call up more witnesses in the sentencing phase for killer Dylan Roof. A federal jury is tasked with deciding whether Roof gets life or death for killing 9 churchgoers in Charleston. Roof spoke publicly for the first time since the 2015 massacre yesterday, telling the jury there was nothing wrong with him psychologically. The 22-year-old is representing himself in the death penalty case.
Today is the last day many owners of the Galaxy Note 7 smartphone will be able to use the device. Verizon and AT&T will roll out a software update today that prevents the phones from charging or connecting to cellular networks, pretty much making them unusable. T-Mobile rolled out the update a couple weeks ago. The phone is under a worldwide recall.
Ohio-based company Marco's Pizza will be opening 10 locations in New Mexico within the next year or 2. Locations include Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, and Carlsbad. Company execs say they're one of the fastest-growing pizza chains in the U.S. with 800 locations in 38 states. They say they chose Albuquerque based off a business model that shows they can be successful here. The expansion will bring 250 jobs throughout the state. Kristen?
Today's Metro Threat Index up to a 5. We're seeing cold temperatures this morning, breezy to windy conditions this afternoon. Showers arrive late tonight. Our best opportunity to pick up the snow here in the metro area will arrive late tonight through the overnight hours and into the early part of our Friday. Already plan on giving yourself extra time for tomorrow's morning commute. Crystal?
This morning, a new bill has the green light to help clear a backlog of untested rape kits. It outlines a series of deadlines for APD to send kits to the lab and have them tested in criminal cases. Right now, there are almost 4,000 evidence kits in police custody that have not been tested. It's estimated it would take about $1.2 million a year over 5 years to address this massive backlog.
The man now charged with involuntary manslaughter for the death of a 61-year-old man in Albuquerque this week says it was an accident. Court documents say John Bennett, the victim, Charles Ullery, were friends and that Ullery was helping Bennett move out. Now, Bennett says he had a shotgun tucked under his arm and it accidentally went off, hitting Ullery in the face, killing him. Two other people there confirmed his story.
6:53 now, but a check in your early morning drive. Let's take a look at this situation here on Paseo del Norte. You can see right just east of I-25 traffic really going sluggish, about 10 miles per hour there, but that's really the only trouble spot. So be aware of that if you need to use that route this morning.
New facts this morning shows older people with diets rich in fruits, vegetables, olive oil, and beans may be helping their memory. Researchers in Scotland found the so-called Mediterranean diet can be helpful in preventing the brain from shrinking and losing cells.
And finally, new at 6, one of the largest tech conventions is underway in Las Vegas. It already has a lot of people talking this morning, like the Aristotle from Mattel. Think of it as a high-tech baby monitor and the Amazon Echo all-in-one. Mattel says it can recognize when the baby wakes up and soothe them back to sleep with a lullaby, along with ordering up some diapers and playing guessing games with the kiddos. One requirement when your children interact with the monitor, they have to use the word please.
Oh, there you go.
At least you have to be polite,
When
right?
you get one of those
I
for the
know.
newsroom. All right, time now for the 5 facts.
At number 5, the city will soon begin a $15,000 study over whether Albuquerque should build a soccer stadium. The semi-pro team, the Albuquerque Soul, has dreams of moving on up to the minor leagues. If the study proves the stadium is a good idea, it could go up near 12th and I-40.
On to number 4 now this morning, a desperate plea from a woman traveling through New Mexico who says thieves swiped her memories. Rebecca Bachia and her husband were passing through last week to Arizona when she says crooks broke into their car at Route 66 Casino. Among the items stolen, 36 years worth of photos of her daughter that she was working on compiling into a scrapbook. There were also pictures of her son, who died from SIDS at the age of 4 months. Bachia says she had not had the chance to make digital copies just yet.
At number 3, APD is asking for your help trying to connect a man to threatening letters left at Mexican-owned businesses along Central. Now, the owner says on Monday he found a rock thrown through his window. The next day, a note was left behind that read, quote, "All Mexicans are guilty of attempted murder." There were names and numbers also on the note. Police tracked the info back to one man, but they need more to link him to the crime.
At number 2, we're looking at increasing snow showers over southern Colorado and the northern mountains today. The rest of us over northern and central New Mexico plan on increasing rain and snow coverage late tonight into tomorrow morning. Temperatures in the 50s today, breezy, everybody cold tomorrow and Saturday.
On to number 1 now. This morning, the state's Republican Party finds itself in the crosshairs of a lawsuit being sued by the president of a state business group. Here are the details for you. Days before the election of a new chairman, Carla Sontag says a series of anonymous emails were sent out to party members targeting a number of Republicans, accusing people of being bullies or wasteful spenders. Sontag says the GOP then sent out an email accusing her of being behind it all. She says she had nothing to do with it, and now she's suing.